popped off a little bit too hard, so we're gonna take a look at what's been happening. Someone in Nijisanji has been the absolute most creepy. I have no idea what actually went on. So we're gonna take a look at that now.
Well, guys, Nijisanji is in trouble yet again.
Oh, what
but it's not.
I wonder what happened. What could have possibly happened in November of 2023? What happened that made them lose so much money?
Not what you think. This involves fresh news from Japan that doesn't just concern Nijisanji, but the Vtubing industry as a whole.
VTuber are gone.
It's about
No more
this
VTubers.
music producer, a pervert of the weirdest kind, who had produced a huge number of Nijisanji songs with their VTubers. A whistleblower working for him leaked the fact that he not only doxed some of Nijisanji's top talent when they visited him in the studio, snapping pictures of their faces, but then he made fun of them while sharing them to other people.
Oh my God.
I wish things ended here, but no, this guy is next level creepy. This dude would dig through the trash in his studio to find tissues used by VTuber talents so that he could share them with his friends. But
excuse me, what? What? That is horrendously down. What? Share it with his friends. Huh?
I will send you to Jesus.
Bro, I remember this, and I'll keep this in mind for a long time. Listen, there's a lot of VTubers out there. There's a lot of orgs out there. But there are, because of that, you have so many individuals connected in a community that you have crazy shit happen. I remember there was a guy that made a VTuber organization just so he could talk to girls. I know, isn't that crazy? There was a guy that made a VTuber org with just a bunch of cute VTubers just so he could sit on voice chat with a lot of girls. And he would force them to sit there in Discord calls to talk to him and play Overwatch. And then we'd also fall asleep to talking to them. It is crazy. Like, I mean, the space is massive, so you'll have creeps here and there. But it's just amazing that someone actually did that. Like, it's this takes the cake though, what this guy's doing. This is crazy.
that's not even the worst accusation here. There are images of him spiking a drink with a substance before handing it to a VTuber, and that substance has already been classified by the Japanese government as dangerous.
Bro, this guy really was cooking, huh? Like, he took it a little bit. He said that he saw a ledge and he wanted to jump over it.
It is completely illegal to use and distribute on Japanese soil. The VTubing industry is imploding and Japanese internet is absolutely losing its mind. So buckle up, this is gonna be a rough one.
Ooh.
Let's talk about it. So as you can see here, I always show this in Nijisanji videos, the parent company of Nijisanji, Anycolor, has been having a rough time with its stock price. And I mean, there's no surprise over this. This year has been really rough on its public relations management. Their reputation is an absolute shambles, especially globally. This right here is when things started to really take a nosedive and continue.
I'm gonna be real, this company has kind of gone all the way, no breaks. The amount of atrocious things that happen, it's been less than a year, by the way, since the Dokiverse situation happened. It's been less than a year. Think about all the things that have been happening. Like, this company has gone through the most nuts scenarios in a year.
Downwards as they were wrestling with the fact that one of their most beloved English talents tried to end her existence on this planet twice, blaming the company's internal toxic work culture. However,
she's
what
doing
a lot of
great
people
now, by
don't
the
talk
way.
about is their financials.
Doing amazing.
I finally get to use my master's degree for something. This right here is the balance sheet.
Where you have a
Nijisanji.
master degree? Where you have a master degrees in finance and you're making YouTube videos? Oh my God. What a transition.
Anycolor. This reveals every single
To be fair, it
aspect
probably
of the
pays
company's
more if you're
financials.
starting
how much
out.
money they owe, the value of their buildings, their assets, how much it costs to run the company's operations, pretty much everything. If we scroll down to the end of the balance sheet, we see the one stat that matters the most, net profit. This is how much a company has made after all the taxes they owe, the debts, any of the stuff that they have to pay off. A company can have high revenue but a negative net profit. That means that their costs outweigh how much money they're making. But here, not only is it positive, but for the period of January to April, they...
I just want to clarify because I feel like some of them are confuse this. Mujin is clearly really young. It's just impressive to have a master degree at a very young age and then be like, you know what? I just spent like 4 to 6 years and a lot of money to get this degree. Screw this. I'm just going to be a YouTube guy or a Twitch guy, which makes probably more money when starting out. But it's insane that how many people go through an education for so long and then they find out they're not going to do that. Because like I'm in the same boat. Like it's a lot of people. This happened to so many people. It's
made
crazy.
more money in 2024 than they did in 2023, and it's a noticeable positive difference. And you might be confused, wondering how. Well, it's simple. It's a one-word answer: Japan. VTubing started in Japan, and it's still the main part of the world where it's consumed. And you know what? Japan actually still likes Nijisanji. In fact,
actually, it's big in East Asia itself. VTubers in Asia are massive. They're like one of the biggest streamers out there. Like you think English streamers are big. You see Kai, you see Speed. You go and look in East Asia. You look at Asia. They have big streamers. People really like streamers there.
Without Japan, they would go bankrupt. They would not exist anymore. This is why when one of, if not the biggest drama YouTuber in Japan made this tweet right here, it was an extremely big deal. As you can see, 26 million views,
likes.
A lot of attention on this post. Here's
25.9 million views. Oh my God.
The drama YouTuber by the name of Kore Kore had to say: "We will report violations committed by those involved with the VTuber agency Nijisanji. The damage mainly involved secretly recording the VTubers who operate while hiding their faces while they are at work and disseminating the footage to third parties. He also sends her messages making fun of her appearance." Yeah, this is badly translated. The creep pretty much was taking pictures of these VTubers without them knowing and then sending them to his friends to make fun of their appearances. Terrible. And then continues,
so many females are targeted. Can you specify it? Because like, I'm gonna be real, there are a lot of dudes that have been targeted this year as well. I don't think it's gender specific, but like, because it's either like, it's even unisex has been targeted quite a lot this year. I feel like this year has been very wild. People have popped off everywhere. Both parties, all parties, unisex, male, female, everybody, VTubers, female, male, every party is getting attacked these days. Because like this year, if it has felt like, for me at least, that every week something happens. It has never calmed down this entire year. It's actually nuts how much insane things have been happening this year. In VTubing space, streaming space, worldwide, political, every war. War, like, it's crazy how much been happening this year. It's kind of, it's turned, there's so much that has been mind-numbing. You hear a crazy thing and you're like, oh, okay. Because you've been hearing so much this year. It's nuts.
The mere existence of people.
Bro, people are, I remember I posted something about McDonald's and people are talking about McDonald's like boycott. And I'm like, what do you mean? What? There's so many things going on. There's so much thing, dude. I've given up on keeping a track on anything. Cause like I've even seen all the VTuber news. I've kind of ignored like the 40 lost VTuber drama situations because it's just so much. I was just like so tired of it in May. I was like, dude, this is too much. I'm like, I cannot look at this. It is depressing at this point.
Like this in this industry will only increase the number of victims, and since the VTuber herself is unaware that she is being secretly filmed, at the whistleblower's request, the footage will be made public on a live broadcast at 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, September 1st. And as you can see, there are images attached here of those victims, with blurred faces of course, showing some of the messages that were sent here to this person's friends. For Japan, this is one of the biggest scandals you can imagine. Not only was this tweet implying that Nijisanji's internal staff was behind this was also threatening Nijisanji's reputation in their home turf on Japan.
Because like if a VTubing, so it depends who you ask, but in many ways, a lot of people value their privacy as a VTuber. And if you're joining an organization and you're going to suddenly have all of these eyes on you and you're going to do all this production, you have all these creeps around it because you're in an org, and your org is getting a lot of flack because of situation and attention because of negative situation. This flack can end up harassing you, hurting you, attacking you. And if you are then in a situation where even the insider that are meant to put you in that position and keep your privacy intact are the ones that are revealing your true identity while putting you on that pedestal, then it will hurt their reputation throughout their whole future. Because what new VTuber will join that org and think that their privacy will be intact? If you break the shell once, it will always be broken, and that's the thing. It is very, very bad for their situation as a VTuber organization to have personal private relation or private information shared within the corporation and outside of the corporation from within. It's crazy.
But to really understand the gravity of the situation, you have to understand the fact that the VTubing industry in Japan has very specific taboos. And this mostly revolves around the idea that a VTuber's privacy is sacred like a religion.
It is, because like they are also doing the idol culture thingy. The thing is that a lot of VTubers, I'm going to make maybe a video on this because I think VTubers in the West have completely forgot what the fuck a VTuber is at this point. Because everybody talking about, is this a VTuber? Oh my God, I'm in a relationship. Oh my God, why are people being mad about it? People have forgotten that VTuber are from idolism. And idol culture is meant to be this perfect envisioned product. This is a perfect individual, perfect, talented individual. And the thing is that the impurity of being real, being a real man or a woman, or having anything like this is going against the vision these corporations are trying to produce. And the privacy of an individual worker in East Asia, at least in Japan, is very sacred and is very important to keep that intact. So whenever you break all of these forms, that's not a good situation that's going on.
Religion. They're genuinely seen as virtual beings, and to break that immersion is a sin of the highest level.
It is.
So Nijisanji,
and this happens, by the way, also, this is a bigger scale for VTubers compared to regular idols, because idols shows their actual face, but VTubers have their own like individual character visual. The companies can craft their perfection of what the VTuber is meant to be that they cannot do with idols that very well.
Accused of committing the biggest crime conceivable against their own talent.
Man. Oh man.
As you can see, that's a massive accusation, because if it were to be true, they can kiss their business in Japan goodbye. And it was what Korekore was implying in his tweet, that Nijisanji's staff was doing this. Everyone waited with bated breath for this live stream to start, with over 10,000 people waiting and over 150,000 concurrent viewers watching it while it was being streamed.
That's
it almost
crazy.
has 1 million views, and half the world is barely still waking up. While many were concerned about Nijisanji having a hand in this, they were mostly concerned about the safety of their favorite VTubers, their favorite idols. That's what mattered the most. The live stream was 3 hours long, but don't worry, he didn't just cover this, he covered multiple news stories. The segment we're interested in is around 30 to 40 minutes, so I'm going to sum it up for you. Here we go. He starts off by giving context. This is about a mixer, right? Otherwise known as a music producer in the West. And these are some of the things that he worked on with Nijisanji from the period of 2020 to 2024. These are some very highly viewed music videos. And he was the composer behind that music. We're talking tens of millions of views. So it's a very big deal.
A completely off the rail thing to mention there. VTuber music is so big in Japan. I looked at Japanese chart yesterday, and you know what is crazy? There's a VTuber that is #1 song at the moment played in Japan. It is actually nuts. Don May by Mori is #1 song played this week in Japan, which is insane. So Hololive, they keep farming while Nijisanji keeps on falling. It's crazy.
This information was provided to him by a whistleblower who works at the studio owned by the person who is guilty in all this, a music producer by the name of YAB. This is his Twitter profile, and as we've seen in the beginning of the video, this is what this creep looks like right here. This is one of the many pictures he took of talents that came to his studio. As you
Bro,
can
why
see,
does
they're
it
in
look
front
like
of
the working
microphone.
couch?
And these are messages involving Yab with people he knew, third parties, sending pictures of that person in the studio and commenting on their looks, sometimes saying things that are very inappropriate. One example of the things he said while sending pictures of these VTubers to his friends was, "Her face is 60 points, but her body is 100 points."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they weren't wholesome messages.
Yeah.
There is a worrying amount of these pictures of many different talents in many different poses and so many messages commenting on them and their looks. Some of these pictures are more sexually suggestive as well, with the talent here laying down on the couch thinking they're comfortable and safe, and him completely violating their privacy. But one of the craziest accusations of this creep is the use of a substance called red spider, putting it in the drinks of some VTubers that would be in his studio. Now, what the hell is a red spider? Are we talking about a red spider lily, or are we talking about an actual red spider, the arachnid? When you translate the substance itself from Japanese to English, you get red spider, but in Japanese it's spelled benigumo. It's actually forbidden by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare of Japan to be even used or distributed in the country. This is from a broader decision made back in August
So he
of
spiked their drinks.
2008,
So what did
where
he
they
do?
made multiple substances illegal, and red spider, aka benigumo, is the first one on this list. And I would have never found this list if it wasn't for Ryuku Sensei. He helped me try to track down what the hell a red spider was because I was so damn confused. So massive thanks to him and his amazing
I don't know why this name rings a bell.
Japanese fluency. Please go check him out. Here's the page. Translated, as you can see, it translates to red spider, and it comes in two different forms, capsules and liquid. They have different pharmaceutical ingredients based on their form. So in terms of capsules, it's sildenafil, and in terms of liquid, it's clozapine. Red spider will have a very unique effect on women when taken in capsule form when it has sildenafil in it. It will
Man. You know those time you feel like, dude, you lose like faith in humans? Like this is like one of those moments a little bit. Like that's just crazy. Like how do you sit down and you think to yourself, this is the way I want to spike a girl's drink, and then the thing I'm going to spike them on, it's not going to drug them, it's going to make them more aroused. Sexual dysfunctional. Jesus
increase
Christ.
the blood flow to the genitals, which may help increase sensitivity, arousal, and orgasmic function. I have to censor these words, otherwise I'll get age restricted. The effectiveness has mixed results, but people believe that it's some sort of an aphrodisiac for women. Now, this is where things get worrying. We're not sure which version of red spider he actually used. But since he snuck it in a drink, it's most likely that he used the liquid version, which has clozapine.
Women are scared to go out in public because things could happen to them. This is what I always say. I've said this in another react before. But like, I mean, in the end of the day, if you are a girl or a woman, you gotta be extra aware of your surroundings when it comes to that thing. Never take a drink from someone. If you order a drink, pay attention to the bartender. Look at the bartender when he makes it. Don't look away from the bartender. Don't trust the bartender. Look at the bartender. Know what you're drinking. And take care of yourself. There's many things that happens. Now, obviously, there are things that happens to men as well, but in the end of the day, there are more, for some reason in party culture, there are more creepy men out there than there are creepy women. But there are both sides of the coin. I've dealt with very creepy women, so it's not like it never happens. But you know, you hear these horror stories, so you just got to take care of yourself. Just don't make that ruin your night, though. Just focus on, there's some small things. Have friends near you. Have a guy friend there. Just just have people near you and pay attention to what you're consuming or where that thing comes from. Just pay attention. That's all. It is annoying that has to be a fact. In the perfect world, we wouldn't need to care about that. But unfortunately, our world is pretty fucking dark at times. But don't let that make you ruin your night. Go have fun. Go have a blast. Just pay attention to what you consume and take care of yourself.
Pine in it. Unlike sildenafil, clozapine is actually a psychiatric medication. It's primarily used to treat people with schizophrenia. This is extremely
what kind of
worrying
side
news,
effects will this
especially
have?
since this medication has a lot of side effects. Anything from constipation to fever to nausea, seizures, dizziness, fainting, rash, sleepiness, bloating. The list goes on. And even more worrying, this is one of the products that are theorized to have been used by him, called Red Spider, imported from Spain. I don't know how it got through customs, but it's clearly not really cheap. But the most unsettling thing about this is the product description. Red Spider is a colorless and tasteless liquid aphrodisiac that dissolves well in beverages and alcohol. It takes effect within 30 minutes of a woman ingesting it. They feel itchy and narrowed in the vagina, a large amount of secretions flow, and they start to desire.
That was a terrible censorship.
Guys, I don't know about you, but this is like reading the description of a date rape drug or something.
This is what you hear in those like visual novels that are completely R18 rated, and you think this doesn't exist. Like these are the you know what I'm talking about. This is like the crazy fucking fantasy drugs. It is nuts the fact that this is even something this guy decided, you know what? I'm going to test it out on random talent. Because think about this. This is a professional setting. This guy, this is a real victim scenario here. It's insane because this guy in a professional setting meant here to record an album and mix an album or a song. And this is what he gives to talent.
Used to roofie someone.
Jesus
Imagine how
Christ.
it feels to be someone invited to his studio to record
To be
a song.
in jail probably is.
You
It's an illegal drug, so I assume he's going to be sent to jail.
You drank it, and now you have to think, wait, did my nausea and my feeling of sickness the next day come because of this? This isn't about being a creep anymore. This is a crime.
This is a crime.
Criminal. And there he was taking pictures of it like it's just a recreational activity, like he's just having fun. It doesn't even end here though. The tissues that VTubers would use in his studio to blow their nose or something would be picked back up by him in the trash, and he would try to give them to his friends. And so you gotta ask the question, how come it took 4 years of working with this guy and a drama YouTuber for Nijisanji to finally understand what's going on? I
will tell you why. It's because their management is in completely, utterly dog shit. They have no idea what is going on there. They're living their own fantasy story in their management. They're belittling every scenario, negative scenario. You had a talent nearly committing suicide twice until you decided, you know, we're going to kick her out instead of paying attention and talking about what the frick happens. This company in itself has been, it's just not paying attention to what's going on. You never know what happens, and at this point, I'm not even shocked what happens because I don't know how this company's been running for so long.
Really been.
If I was Japanese, if the Japanese audit should like the government in Japan needs a proper investigation in that company in Nijisanji, because the amount of crazy shit that's been happening is insane. It's insane how much has been going on.
Complaining about this guy's behavior. Really, 0 people.
They probably knew. They knew. Like they knew that Doki Bird tried to kill herself. Like they knew that specific VTuber kept on being bullied and start having depression around it. They knew it as their talents were constantly harassed and wished to leave. They knew all of these things. They knew when people didn't pay their taxes. They knew not paying things. They knew when they were mistranslating tax reports or info payout labels to their talents, so they would sit with financial debt because of their taxes not being paid. They knew this, but they wouldn't care.
Believe, and so do many other people. Look, here's an example of some of the songs that many talents worked on.
They know they have a blatant racist in their entire org as well, but it's socially acceptable to be racist toward one specific race apparently in the West. It seems like it because nobody gives a fuck. It's crazy. Nobody cares about anything about people anymore. It's nuts.
These are songs that have gotten tens of millions of views over the course of these last few years.
Even the rep doesn't matter at this point. It's
insane. To that studio to record. This means that potentially every single one of these people is in the danger of having had their privacy completely breached by this weirdo. This is why things moved very quickly and many of these videos started getting privated. This right here is the Twitter page of YAB Entertainment, the studio founded by YAB, the pervert. Here is their website, and if we scroll down, we can see him right here. This is the guy, the absolute weirdo that's been doing all this. And if we scroll down to works, as you can see, most of the music he has produced, most of the music videos that involve the music have been privated by their agencies, most notably Nijisanji. This is a more complete list, and it shows you that they were very quick with this. As soon as this news broke out from Korekore, they did not take a second to reflect. Everything has been privated. One of the first VTubers to address this was Fua Minato, a massive Japanese Nijisanji VTuber. His tweet of almost 2 million views said this: "I'm sure you're feeling anxious and sad because so many things have become private. I feel the same way, so let's wait and believe." This is a big deal. There are people who listen to these songs every single day on YouTube and on Spotify and whatever, and all of a sudden they're being removed. Imagine having your favorite songs get taken down from the internet.
That sucks.
All of a sudden you had this insane mounting pressure on YAB to not only talk about this, but to apologize. But interestingly enough, I'm not even joking, this was his profile and his followers before the live stream. This is his profile after the live.
That's because controversies has a very weird effect on things. People, I don't know, like people like to see what's happening. People engage in controversy, but like it will kind of people still support him. No, they're not really supporting him. What they're doing, okay, so there's some people out there that will support him. They'll be creeps and they'll be like admiring him. There are people like that. People are mental out there. Just a factor. But there's a lot of people that tend to follow stuff to figure out like what's the follow-up. They want to know what happens next.
Live stream. Dude gained 2,000 followers for being a creep weirdo. And
staring at the car accident instead of helping.
People.
Yeah.
I don't know how this makes any sense. Maybe people are just following to see what he has to say, but yeah. Another interesting fact that you probably could have lived your entire life without knowing is the fact that this weirdo is married with children.
Oh,
Some
wow.
people scrolled back to see the fact that yes, indeed,
I wonder what
he
his
did
wife
propose to
thinks.
his wife, and they've been married for years now. God knows what she's going through. Regardless though, things were starting to get dangerous. There was an increasing number of people who were trying to make the connection between the VTubers who had done a song with YAB and the ones who could have been victims. And by doing so, they were invading their privacy even further by asking them these questions in their live streams, in their comments, etc. At the same time, this wasn't just about one person anymore. This wasn't just about YAB. It was about people surrounding him as a whole because he wasn't the only person participating in this behavior. And this tweet right here echoes this, saying this is an issue.
It's like a domino brick, and then you push one domino brick, they all fall at the same time. Because who's he texting? If there's one of them there, like how many more are there in the org itself?
That shouldn't be left
What if he talked about these things with people in the org? Oh, now we're gonna get into things, huh?
Attended without thoroughly investigating not only YAB but also the surrounding areas, right? Sexual voyeurism laced with aphrodisiacs is just so damn shady. This isn't just a Nijisanji thing. There are probably a ton of victims.
True.
And I do tend to agree with this statement. You know, he had a bunch of friends he was sharing this with. Who were they? Were they in the industry? Were they his personal friends? There's a lot more to this than just one pervert. But as the Japanese internet, especially on Twitter, was on complete fire, asking for answers and doubting the fact that, hey, maybe this isn't just an isolated case, maybe all mixers are weird, you know? Nijisanji came out with a statement on the same day this happened. This entire statement was posted at 2 a.m. Japanese time, so someone clearly didn't sleep that night. Here's what they had to say. Reporting on infringement rights of our affiliated live streamers by external creators. Thank you very much for your continued support of the virtual live groups Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. On September 1st, 2024, an accusation was made that an external musician, hereinafter referred to as the subject, had secretly photographed the appearance of an individual who is said to be a live streamer affiliated with our company during an external influencer's YouTube broadcast, hereinafter referred to as the broadcast, and that the photograph was then sent to a third party without permission in a form that included defamatory language. There were also suspicions that the target has used illegal physical force against one of our affiliated live streamers. Our company also began investigating the facts as soon as this announcement was made on August 30th, and has now identified some information, such as when the photographs mentioned in the announcement were taken, where they were taken, and the victims. As a freelance musician, the target is involved in providing music to numerous artists, as well as recording, mixing, and mastering, hereinafter referred to as music providing, etc., and our company had also requested that he provide music, etc. In this situation, it is extremely regrettable that suspicions have arisen that the subject has committed an unspeakable act of barbarism, such as this one, which has hurt a live streamer affiliated with our company and which could even shake the foundation of trust between our company and creators. We will continue to investigate the facts, but in this case, we suspect that acts may constitute assault against our affiliated live streamers and violations of harassment prevention ordinance, and we intend to take firm action, including the possibility of taking the matter to criminal law. In addition to terminating the contracts currently in place between the company and the target, the company will also take legal action against the target for breach of confidentiality obligations, violation of privacy rights, defamation and reputation, and violation of other rights. So these last two paragraphs weren't translated very well, but in essence, they're suing him. They're suing the hell out of him multiple ways. They continue. We will provide adequate support to our affiliated live streamers who have concerns about this matter and will aim to resolve this matter as quickly as possible. Additionally, in order to prevent secondary damage, we ask that you strictly refrain from spreading any photos or information about this matter or posting mocking comments about this matter to our affiliated live streamers on social media or through the comment functions during live streams. In addition, regarding this case, there have been occasional voices on the internet alleging that our affiliated live streamers, managers of our affiliated live streamers, and other officers and employees may have committed the crime, but we are not aware of any evidence to support this claim that our affiliated live streamers or our officers and employees were involved in the acts of abuse in this case.
How much do you know? I don't believe that's the case. I think they know, but they wouldn't say it out loud. I think they know if there's anyone else. I think they know exactly what's going on.
So I think officers is just a badly translated managers, but they're saying we didn't do anything. They continue by saying, please refrain from assuming that this incident was committed by a live streamer or employee of our company and spreading false information. We are considering preserving evidence and taking legal action against these malicious acts. So if you're going to spread false info, you're going to get sued, is what they're saying pretty much. In addition, as content such as cover songs in which the target was involved and social media posts by live streamers affiliated with our company
in jail? This just happened. This just happened. This post is from 1 day ago or 2 days ago. This just happened.
Presumed to have received songs provided by the target could be used as a starting point to pry into the victim. In this case, we have temporarily made the content private and deleted the social media posts. We ask that you immediately delete the content that has been made private and the list of deleted posts, as publishing them on the internet such as on social media will lead to secondary victimization of the victim in this case. So here they're saying that they will be taking down anything that has any affiliation with YAB, all to stop this theory crafting about who the victims are and harassing them further. They then end this by saying, we recognize that something like this should never happen again and that it should never be tolerated. In order to protect the physical, mental health of our affiliated live streamers and allow them to continue their activities with peace of mind, we will make further efforts to improve the working environment for our affiliated live streamers, including reviewing the selection of creators to whom we order and the criteria for continued orders. So if Nijisanji is to be believed, they'll be reviewing everyone they've been working with up until this point to make sure this never happens again. In the replies, they have a link to their website with the same text we just read and another tweet they made 15 hours ago on September 2nd, 7 a.m. European time, where they clarify yet again why the cover songs got taken down, citing the same reason that, hey, listen, we're doing this for the sake of our live streamers, we don't want them to get more harassment, and that they really just don't want to tolerate any content done by YAB. They understand the songs hold a lot of significance and they will try their best to figure out a solution that will satisfy everyone, but for now, you are not allowed to even re-upload this. So this is them doubling down on the stance. Now, Anycolor's response was mixed. There were a lot of people praising them for being so quick with their response, but at the same time, there were some people who really didn't like the idea of having the cover songs being taken down and...
Okay, so this is the thing. I get why people are thinking about they don't want this cover song to be taken down, but this is like a little bit of an insensitive idea to think, because in the end of the day, this is like, we're dealing with a situation with victims. And I think that until they figure out what they want to do, Niji just want to keep them down. I think it's a W on them, and I think it's a W on them on this post itself. I don't believe that they don't know who the freaking did it, or if there's any more situation in the company itself. I don't believe that at all. But that's because the view of Nijisanji is pretty tainted with the years, or at least with this year. But in the end of the day, I think they deserve praise for like taking action. This guy is a third party. He's not really a Nijisanji worker. He's a third party producer or a mixer that working with Nijisanji. So I can understand why they're deciding, you know, we're going to sue him. We're going to try to compensate the people that are dealing with it. We're going to try and take care of them. Stop giving them hate, give them some peace, and shut down the videos that are to just generally make them just feel like just to kind of try to move a little bit away from the scenario. And I think that if these songs will come up probably in the future, there's no way they will always be hidden. But for now, at the moment, I understand why they would private them.
Others wondering, why did it take 4 years for you to reach this conclusion, and what kind of investigation did you do on August 30th that you could have done way earlier? This affected the entire VTubing industry, including the VTubers themselves, of course. This big Japanese Nijisanji VTuber, for example, is taking a break due to this, and he's not the only one. As people were still trying to process the gravity of the situation, YAB finally comes out with a statement in less than 24 hours from Korekore's stream. It hasn't even been 24 hours since the post came out, and it already has 10 million views. The caption reads, "We are very sorry for the inconvenience caused," and the main statement is in an image in Japanese. Let's translate it and read it. It says, "I, YAB, would like to sincerely apologize for the discomfort and displeasure caused to many people by the problematic comments and videos I made in the past online." Line is a very popular messaging app in Japan and just Asia in general. Think of it like WhatsApp. He then continues, "I deeply regret that my thoughtless actions have caused this situation. We would like to once again apologize for any inconvenience caused to you. We take this matter seriously and will respond sincerely. I am very sorry."
Now this is ass. Brother, you spiked women's drink with an illegal substance to make them arouse and started taking their napkins to trade it with your friends. You're an ultimate creep that should be in the prison at this point. And how many people have you done this to? What kind of post? You should not have said anything, honestly. Like, I don't what the hell is this?
To say that this apology was lackluster and underwhelming is of course an understatement.
It is.
The only thing to come out of this is just confirming 100% that
this happened. All he did with this just confirm that it happened. There's nothing, we don't have to beat around the bush and say it didn't happen, he didn't do anything, he didn't go through any of the allegations or anything like that. This just happened. All of this is fact. That's what it's just saying right now.
Allegations are true. This was
it just confirms it happened.
This was his chance to speak up, and he didn't deny anything. But I don't think you can find a single person who was satisfied with this apology. It's like you handing in an assignment to your teacher with the minimum word count required.
Lower jail time? I don't think guilty plead like this for the public media, confirming that you spike drinks with illegal substances that will have a massive damaging effect future on, and constantly trying to invade personal space and the privacy of idle talents is gonna be helping you with anything. More, I think this response here is making his sentence worse. I think this thing itself is making it way worse because it confirms anything. You cannot deny any eligibility after this. This is awful.
Effort. That's what this feels like. Look, the VTubing industry, in particular the Japanese,
they're worse. They're way worse. They don't give you any small sentence. They give you the max sentences, at least in Japan.
Side is still in shock right now. And bear in mind, YAB didn't just
guilty
work
plea
with
is super common in Japan and get more lenient sentences. So I think there's a decree what the fuck a guilty plea is. I don't think this is enough of a guilty plea. I don't think this is in any sort of way would help them in Japan's justice system.
Nationwide issue at this point. Many are hoping that the police could do something, but even the Japanese don't have very high hopes in regards to their own police. But at least Nijisanji is going to pursue him in multiple legal avenues, so let's just hope he gets what
in the end of the day, he's going to be sued through the hell of him. And he's not going to do any more business in the music industry ever. So I don't think, so in the end of the day, he will not have any business and he will lose a lot of money and he's probably going to face jail time. So this guy is ruined anyways. It's over for him.
He deserves. Criminal prosecution aside though, Nijisanji have to definitely do better at examining who they work with. They worked with this guy for 4 years, and the only reason they knew about it was because of a drama YouTuber. This could have gone on for another 4 years. And I hope that they can actually support the VTubers, not just tweet about it, but actually be able to do it. I want to believe that's true, but I'm actually skeptical, especially over what they've done this year, what's been revealed about how they handled their global branch. Hopefully this guy, YAB, also gets what's coming to him, because what he's done has been disgusting. And these are only the things that the whistleblower knew about. Imagine the things we don't know about.
True.
Let's see what happens. I'll keep a close eye on this, and if anything major happens, I'll update you. But thank you so much for watching, as always, especially if you watched till the end. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. Mwah.
W, can you blow your nose as hard as you can this tissue? Thank you. All right, Mujin, good one. W video, Mujin. That's disgusting, man. It feels bad. It's really sad to see that, because like I think in the end of the day, like talents have to deal with so much shit, and the fact that they have to deal with this nonsense on the inside as well, that sucks. But tell me down below what y'all think. What do y'all think about the situation? Does this guy deserve life sentence in jail, or what do y'all think? Do you think that the fact that he's completely ruined is a good enough sentence at all? But yeah, tell me down below. Like this video if you enjoy it. Make sure to sub to the channel if you enjoy reactions, and come and join me on twitch.tv/Attillee if you want to come and yap with us live. I'll see you around. Have a good one, and take care. Bye y'all. Bye bye.